All right, now we're going to talk about lesson 6, which is styling text with CSS. So for our warm-up, I want you to go to code.org, okay, and I want you to look at this web page that they have there. It should be Bubble 1, which is a sample website. Okay, click the website below to discover some new types of styling for your pages. If you wanted to create a page like this, what do you already know how to do that we've learned in class from the first lessons 1 through 4, and what do you still need to learn how to do? And then you're just going to jot that down. If you're in class and you have a physical journal, then you can jot it down there. If you are in the virtual class and you don't have a physical journal, you can write it in a Google Doc and just keep up with all of your journal responses. So pause the video here so that you can answer this question. So far, we have only made web pages where we control the content and the structure, such as which parts of the pages are headings, like this, or paragraphs, like this. We've been using HTML as the language to specify the content and structure of the pages. While HTML allows us some control over the page looks, it doesn't give developers much control over the specific look and style of each element. To do that, we need a language to express style. So our question of the day is, how can we change the style of text on a web page, like color, font size, and italic? There is no activity guide for this lesson, and so what you're going to be doing is working through the levels on code.org, and I'm going to try to guide you as we go through this video. So with a partner or by yourself, again, if you're in class, your partner is the person that is sitting beside you from the seating chart. If you are in a virtual class, your partner is whoever that is in the same room with you, or you can just work by yourself. So with a partner, explore the index.html and style.css files. What changes is this new language making to the page? How is the language different from HTML? How are the index.html and style.css files connected? So let's look at that. Hit continue. Okay. It gives you these same questions on here, and you want to look at this. One thing that we talked about around lesson 3 or 4 was the inspector. On your iPad, to access the inspector, you have to click, like the inspector doesn't show up automatically. And so you have to click something, it was like one of these buttons, and then pressing it again, and that made the inspector tool show up. All right, so what does the inspector do? Whenever, see that should be saying on, so that's a bug in the code, but whenever you have the selector tool on, you can touch part of the code, or you can click into the HTML code and it will highlight the area in the preview. All right, so what is happening? This is your index page, and in your index you have a H1 tag, H2 tag, and another H1 tag. But at no point in here does it say make it blue, make it red. That's not happening. So let's go look at the style sheet. The style sheet says H1 color blue, text align center. H2 text align right, color red. All right, so let's go back. This is how the style sheet is linked, and this is in the head, and this is also a problem that I see every single year with students. The style sheet is not part of the web page content that you see. It's instructions for telling the web page how to make this content look a certain way, but I'm not actually seeing anything from the style sheet. So this is all stuff that's, if you picture an HTML document as a body or as like a person, you have the head of a person and then you have the body of the person. All right, we don't see what is in what people think. We don't see what is in people's heads. So anything that you add that you want people to see should not be in the head. It should go in the body. And as I'm grading your work, if I see your content, if I see like an H1 tag in the head, I will not give you points for that. Okay, so always make sure that what you are putting in the head is not the stuff that you want to show up. Okay, everybody always, I don't know why people always get that wrong, so anyways. All right, so Intro to CSS Part 1. Okay, think about this. How is the style of a web page different from structure? Why might you want your web page to have a certain style? I'm going to let you watch this video on your own, and then whenever you get done, you click the continue button at the bottom. So pause my video so that you can watch this on code.org. What I want you to do now is work through bubbles 4, 5, and 6. And remember, this area, these are your instructions, okay? Do this. It tells you what to do. If you have questions and you need a little bit of help, what colors can I use in CSS? How does the code work? It will tell you these things, all right? So these are very helpful. All right, and if you need the documentation link, you can do that if you want it to read the instructions to you. I'm not sure if this option shows up on the iPad.
CSS and text color this A.
And it's not exactly appeasing to the ear, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, so find the code in the style sheet. Click on style.css in the files list. This is our files list. That is making the H1 heading red, okay, color red. Change the code for the color of the H1 heading from red to a different color. All right, and it should, I'm not sure if it will give you options on the iPad, but it should give you some autofill options. Okay, so that's bubble 6, that's bubble 4, and I want you to continue to work through 5 and 6. And then don't forget to click the finish button after you get done with each bubble. Pause the video here so you can do that. All right, this is bubble 7. And I want you to pause my video so that you can watch this video with Danny as she goes a little bit deeper into CSS. How does the web page know what style sheet it should be using? Okay, so pause this video. Don't forget to click continue whenever you are done so you can move on to the next one. Okay, bubble 8. Inside the HTML page, add the code that will link the style sheet to the web page. This is how you get the style sheet to work on your web page. And do you see how it gives you a space, an empty line on line 4 in between lines 3 and 5? That's because that's where it wants you to put stuff, okay? So this code right here, type it into line 4. If you have anything misspelled, it will not work. So some common misspellings include dealing with the href. So we can say link rel equals style sheet, people frequently type HERF instead of HREF. So if yours is not working, then that could be a reason why. So let's keep it like this though, so that you can see. All right, it's not marking it as an error, but do you see how literally nothing changed? So let's change that to spell it correctly. Oh, you might have to press the refresh and save. So let me go back and, okay, refresh and save. Nothing changed, all right? I spell it correctly, refresh and save, and now it changes. So when you click refresh and save, if nothing changes, then you did something wrong. And I will hear students say frequently, oh, it isn't working, it's lying, it's cheating on me. Wrong. You just typed it wrong, and it's okay to make a typo, but part of, like, one of the most important things about computer science is problem solving and debugging. Code ends up with bugs all of the time. It's not a big deal. You just go back and fix it, all right? So finish these bubbles. Bubble 8, make sure you link that correctly. Bubble 9 is a practice bubble. Okay, you choose one or two of these. If you are really interested in coding, then and you have time, then you may want to do more than one. This would give you like really good practice. Especially if you're interested in taking AP Computer Science Principles next year, the more practice that you get coding, the easier that class is going to be for you. So Bubble 10 is an assessment, and there's a rubric that is given to you in that level, and then you will choose a challenge at Bubble 11. So we kind of jumped through all of this. So the content, this is what you type on HTML. HTML is the structure, so it puts all of your bones in order how they should go. And then CSS is the style. Okay. This is where you can see your rubric on the assessment level, so double check that to see how it's going to be graded. And then choose a challenge. And so what are the differences between HTML and CSS? Well, HTML is the structure and CSS is the style. Okay, so for your closing journal, create a new page in your journals called CSS properties. Describe one CSS property you learned today and give an example, and then we would share this. But basically what you're going to be doing in your journal is creating a list of the CSS properties so that way you can easily access them in the future. All right, so CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, a language used to describe how HTML elements should be styled, and a CSS selector is the part of a CSS rule set that defines which HTML elements the style should be applied to. So how can we change the style of text on a web page? By using CSS.